Hello, adoring fans, and welcome to our this week's podcast.
That's right. It's been kind of a busy week, I think, for both of us. But,
Very busy.
Yeah, been listening to a little bit of the Scott Pilgrim soundtrack. Not the movie, but the game soundtrack.
Oh, yeah.
It is crazy good.
It's really good.
Yeah, I kind of really want to play that game again, actually.
Is why I have my 360 hooked up not like 10 feet from us.
Yeah, no, definitely. Yeah, that's pretty good. I've also I actually picked up an app called Duolingo or whatever.
Uh-huh.
I've been starting to brush up on Japanese.
Very cool.
Yeah, it's really hard.
Yeah.
But, yeah. I mean, the main thing is to remember, though, is, like, the app is just... It's not a substitute for a teacher. It's a tool. Like, you still have to teach yourself. And I think a lot of people go into it thinking, like, oh, it teaches it. It's like, no, it doesn't. Like, I have notes that I'm having to keep and stuff like that. Like, it's not... But yeah, it's something that I've been meaning to do for, like, a long time. And I have not gotten around to it. And so that's good.
Yeah, going back to the Scott Pilgrim soundtrack, that band, the Anamanaguchi, is super good.
Yeah,
like I recommend their actual albums as well.
Yeah, I just started listening to a little bit of their stuff too, and it's like really good.
It's really good.
All the people who were involved with that game were like I've seen their other stuff, and it's like because the guy who did the sprites for it, like he's a known sprite artist, and I've seen some of his other stuff, and it's like that's really good. And so it's like they got like an A team of talent making that game.
Yeah, and it's a shame that it's like it's unavailable.
Yeah, it kind of upsets me.
Yeah, like you had to have it, and it has to still be downloaded like to your console.
Yeah,
right. Because like if you bought it, you can't download it anymore.
No, it's off the servers at all because like they licensed the movie, but it's based off the books because the stuff from the movie isn't in it.
Right.
It's all the stuff from the books.
Yeah.
But they got the movie license, and so the license expired, and because it's a movie, like renewing a movie license is expensive, so they're like, well, that movie didn't do too well, and it's like, but the book is doing fine.
Yeah.
Like, it even got a re-release in color that sold very well and continues to sell well. Renew that license, throw it up on the current gen consoles.
Yeah.
There was even planned DLC that got scrapped.
No, it was really good. I don't think I got the DLC.
Yeah, me neither. Well...
What? Because there was one, right? With knives?
There was... Yeah, I got the DLC on my PS3, but not on my 360. Because I bought it again on the PS3 because I had like a timed exclusive for the DLC, I think.
Okay.
And like, but I don't have my PS3 anymore, I don't think. And so it's like, because there was, I think, like it let you play as knives, and also added Wallace Wells, which was really cool. And it's like, oh well, I guess I don't have the DLC anymore.
Yeah, so it's upsetting because I feel like
such a good game.
It's a good game, and that it's not the only one that has kind of like disappeared into obscurity.
Yeah,
and it's kind of hard because like how
there's no legal way to acquire it.
Yeah, there's no legal way. Yeah, you could probably emulate it and get hacks of it and stuff, but it's just really unfortunate that there are games that are lost to history.
Oh, there's a lot of games that are actually lost too. Yeah.
Because of stuff like that.
There's I really wish I had the and we can even do a whole episode at some point on this, but there's this lady who she grew up in I don't want to say the country because I'm going to remember it wrong, but she grew up in a country that did not usually get games like as often, so she had to emulate and download, and there's a lot of like really old early PC games that she's like she had compiled onto this like database online and made this like, because it was all like stuff abandoned by the developers and whatnot, and it's lost and nobody's documenting it.
Yeah,
it's not like with film and other forms of media where there's like, you know, got these huge like movements to preserve or anything like that. Like the early days of gaming, it's very hard to find, specifically PC gaming. It's very hard to keep track of that stuff, and it's just gone.
Yeah. I mean, I guess that is with like every media, because there's definitely lost films too.
Oh, yeah.
You know, like libraries of movies that will never be because they were lost to
The ravages of time.
Yeah.
But it's a problem now. Like, so I guess it is and it isn't with games. Like early games, yeah, it is hard because like just finding the physical copies, like Atari or Nintendo, like any console, you're probably good. At least the main ones.
Yeah.
But like a lot of PC games, people were selling PC games in zippy bags.
Yeah.
Like that stuff gets lost. But it's a shame when you got. That's why I hate when a game that I like, that I really actually like, doesn't get a physical release because it's just gone sometimes.
Yeah.
Like if I had a physical copy of Scott Pilgrim, I'd always have Scott Pilgrim, but it's gone.
Yeah.
You know? But that game was super good. It was like so like with retro games, there's like two like retro style games. There's like two ends of the spectrum. On like one hand, you have like Shovel Knight, where it's like we're gonna use the palette and we're gonna like do our best to make an NES game with slight like I guess adjustments. Like they added a color.
Yeah.
Like it had like it didn't have screen transitions. It was smooth. You know, I forget what that's called, but then you have Scott Pilgrim where it's like
scrolling, right? Is it scrolling?
Yeah. There's like it's like progressive scrolling or something.
I thought it was auto. I don't know.
No, auto scrolling is where it's constantly moving.
Yeah.
But Mega Man had like the, like that. But anyway, so either way, it doesn't matter. But like, then you got Scott Pilgrim where it's very much of the year it was made.
Yeah.
Like 2013 or 14 or 6. I don't know. I'm just listing numbers at this point. Like 7, 8. Ten's a good number.
Yeah.
Maybe in a later episode I'll give you my top 10 list of numbers, but for now, well, yeah, it was like 2013 or 14, but it's very much of that time, but it had the spirit of like an old beat 'em up game. Like it had new art that definitely wouldn't have been able to run on those old consoles.
Yeah,
but it was very retro still. It had a not really, like, it had an updated sound to it, but it still kind of had the retro feel to it,
Yeah.
So it's very much the technology we had, but, like, done faithfully, like, in, like, honor of those older, like, beat-em-up games. And it's, like, it perfectly complements the other side of, like, Shovel Knight, I think a lot of games miss that mark.
Yeah.
But,
or just make stuff in pixel art and to try to draw in the retro.
Whoops. Let's put my phone on silent.
They're trying to draw the retro crowd, but it's like a modern game.
Yeah, and there's no like, they're very clearly trying to make a retro game.
Yeah.
But they're not doing it,
Yeah, and then you get games like Guacamelee, which is super awesome.
I think I remember that one.
And its controls and its structure is a Super Nintendo game, but it has its own like art.
Yeah.
So it has a very like modern art style and, something that could never run on an SNES.
Yeah.
But you could use an SNES controller because the gameplay is such a throwback. Because it's Metroid.
Yeah.
It's Metroid, but
with luchadors. Yeah, I think I know what game you're talking about. Yeah.
It's super awesome.
Yeah, and there's like, what was it? A game I've been really wanting to play because one of my favorite Super Nintendo games ever was Harvest Moon.
Mm-hmm.
That game is $300.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a game called Stardew Valley, which is like a spiritual successor to Harvest Moon, and it is another one of those games where it's like, it's got that like retro art, but it's not just tacked on. It is very much like it obviously could never run on a Super Nintendo, but it looks like and it feels like that type of game.
Mm-hmm.
It just expanded like infinitely.
Yeah.
And it's a really good game. I've been wanting to play it, but it's like I was gonna get it on the PS4, but then they announced the Switch version,
Mm-hmm.
and I was like, okay, cool, I'll wait for that. Then the Switch version came out, but right now it's digital only.
Yeah.
And he's being super like dodgy about if it's getting if he had just said it's not getting a physical copy.
Are you talking about the creator?
The creator of the game is being really dodgy about it. Like, he won't just say no. If he just said no, there isn't going to be one.
Yeah.
Then I'd be like, all right, fine, maybe I'll break down and buy a digital.
Mm-hmm.
But he's like, well, we haven't arrived at a decision on that, but it's something we're discussing. And it's like, no, you need to say something because the game has been out for like 2 months, probably longer now. Like, I need to know.
Yeah.
But it's really good. I mean, it kind of like that like whole retro style game. When done right, is really good.
Yeah.
It's just there's a lot of crowd in that market, you know.
Yep.
But I guess might as well jump into what we're talking our subject for today, I guess.
Yeah, which actually goes hand in hand with what we're talking about. With like
the retro thing.
Retro, like throwbacks, but modern.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because, there's Sega. There was rumors that Sega was going to be releasing a new console, but it turns out they're probably talking about their like Mega Drive flashback or whatever. But then Atari, there was rumors that they were coming out with a new console, and then everybody thought it was the Atari flashback. But then it turns out it is an actual console, but.
But we don't know. So I think the Sega thing's the Sega thing's a quick topic, and then the Atari is a rabbit hole. So Sega. I know they did a Genesis. So they did a Genesis flashback.
Just sort of. It wasn't like this. It wasn't like. I think it's just like AV cable. Like it's like one of those like cheaper kind of like it's just not like true emulation or anything like that.
No, it's not like an SNES Classic or an NES Classic. It's like the Atari flashback.
Well, even the Atari flashback doesn't have doesn't it have an HDMI port?
I don't believe so.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. So then it literally is just.
It's literally like a plug and play system.
Gotcha.
It's got 150 games on it, but it's a plug and play system.
Gotcha.
And the emulation is, I don't know. Like I have the Flashback 7, which I think is the newest one. I don't know. I spent like $30 on it,
right? And
it's pretty fun.
Yeah.
I also have like one of those just plug and play where it's the controller. And it has like 10 games.
Yeah.
Just because like I don't have a 2600 and that's something that I kind of want to collect.
Yeah.
But right now I'm not.
Don't have the.
I just don't have a lot of money to jump into collecting on another old system.
Yeah.
But yeah, the Genesis, I think it's called the Genesis Flashback, and I think it's the same company that makes the Atari Flashback.
It might be. I mean, probably because it's using the same branding. But from what I understand, it is supposed to be. And I didn't delve too far into it because I was too disappointed to find out they weren't actually making a new console. But I believe it's going to be like full HDMI support. Like.
Oh, so they are making one.
Yeah, the Genesis Flashback, I believe, is like a full on.
Because there is one out now.
Right now what they're talking about is like a full Genesis thing, but it's only announced for Japan, so it's being called the Mega Drive. But the Mega Drive was the Genesis here.
That's right.
And it is going to be like the full deal instead of what they've released now, which is just kind of like a.
And that's really exciting.
Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely. Because Sega had a lot of really good games.
Yeah.
Which is actually, so. Obviously, a lot of people have begun to smell the blood in the water. Like, the Xbox isn't doing well. And it's entirely possible, if they don't get it together, they might not be in the console race next generation. They just don't have any exclusives anymore. They don't have any in-house development, and they haven't been able to attract more developers, and they don't have any exclusive games. What I'm most disappointed by Sega not releasing a new console is because Sega has some of the best, properties.
Yeah.
Like, they have such amazing properties that have just gone into disrepair.
And internally developed, like their first party games, yeah.
And because they are now a third party developer, they can't take the risks they used to. They can't spend the development time they used to. It's very scary seeing that, because what Sega is now is what Nintendo would be if they were no longer a first party developer.
Yeah.
Because Sega was never quite didn't quite have, I would say, the same level of polish as Nintendo games do, but it was always really close.
Yeah.
And they had a lot of really good and unique games, and you don't see that as much from them these days.
Yeah.
I would love a new Jet Set Radio, or, Crazy Taxi.
I would say a new Shenmue, but that is happening.
Yeah, apparently that is happening. But, I would love to see more of this, first-party Sega stuff, and we just apparently are not going to get that.
Phantasy Star?
Yeah.
Phantasy Star is a sore point for both of us, but it's more sore for you.
They are going out of their way. They have all but mailed a letter to every Phantasy Star fan in America that just has a giant middle finger.
Yeah.
Because, they have kept being like, oh, yeah, no, I mean, it's, you gonna finish that sentence about when I just asked you when it's coming out in America? Oh, yeah, I mean, about, And it's like, on that Nintendo Direct that we were talking about, the last one they had.
Yeah.
In the Japanese one, they announced Phantasy Star Online 2 for the Switch, and it's not only Japan exclusive, but even more so than the previous ones, because the previous ones you could use a patch or something like that to get English and play it. It's the Switch isn't region locked, except this has to be connected to the cloud in Japan.
Yeah.
You have to physically be in Japan to play it. It's come on.
Yeah.
Oh.
So it would be nice. It would be nice. And it would be kind of cool to, I don't know. There have been console wars, but the Sega Nintendo console war makes all the other console wars seem just obsolete.
Yeah.
It was such a big deal.
Yeah.
And it would be kind of neat to see Sega come back and...
Yeah, and it has kind of become, the Sega, the Sony Microsoft thing has kind of just become... For a while, it was just the bro dude war, who can attract the most bro dudes with their Call of Duties. But now it's all Microsoft is literally just Call of Duty bros, who that's all they play, so it doesn't matter that that's all they have. And Sega, I mean, man, Sega is on the mind, but Sony has been killing it with not just exclusives, but in this age where we have these developers or publishers, not developers, publishers like EA saying oh, single player is dead, it's all about multiplayer and all that. Sony keeps killing it with first party exclusive linear single player campaign games.
Yeah.
Games that everybody says are dead, but they're releasing these AAA titles that are just knocking it out of the park. You got Horizon Zero Dawn, which was freaking phenomenal. Last of Us.
The new God of War that
oh my God,
came out this week is really mopping up.
I never liked God of War. They looked cool, but it was boring. Whatever, hack and slash. I think I'm going to pick up this God of War, and that's great, but there's nobody challenging them anymore because they're their own market. Nintendo is basically its own market now.
Yeah,
and there's nobody competing with Nintendo, which is fine because.
Well, then Sony is also, and I feel like it's kind of rare, but Sony does also bring us a lot of Japanese games.
Yeah,
and a lot of Japanese developed games. You don't see that through Microsoft.
No, and I think that's what's hurting Microsoft because last gen, I feel Japan was not, I don't know, Japan developed games for a while, just weren't really killing it that hard. I don't know how better to put it than that. But in recent years, Japan has just been killing it. Yeah. And Sony's been filtering all of that here really well.
Well, I mean, a good example is them...
Wasn't Monster Hunter a PS4 exclusive too? Was that on Xbox? Because I don't think it was.
Which Monster Hunter?
A Monster Hunter World.
I don't know if it's on Xbox.
I don't think it is, because if not, that's another...
There was one Xbox Monster Hunter.
Really?
Frontier.
Oh, yeah.
Like 8-9 years ago now.
Yeah. But yeah, it's like,
Yeah, and like I was saying, the Yakuza games have continuously been getting brought over, but now they're bringing over the re-releases.
Yeah.
And I think that's opening an entire new audience up to this zany, crazy, wacky country called Japan and the games that come from it.
Yeah, because we only get typically the very safe Japan games, where it's very broad sensibilities, you know.
And to be fair, on even to myself, all the Yakuza games have come out.
Yeah.
In fact, the original one on PlayStation 2 had a big cast. Like, they hired Hollywood actors to do voice acting. It just, not a lot of copies came out, and it didn't really sell well, and it was just kind of an obscure thing. But somehow, and for some reason, they keep bringing it over.
Yeah, I think it makes just enough to work.
But I feel like with the Kiwami series that they're doing now, it's
Which
kind
I really
of a
want
bigger
to play.
deal.
Yeah.
And in the age of the internet versus what it was prior, I think it's helping highlight that.
Yeah.
I would like to see more. I want to see the Disaster Report games come out. Which I don't think we're going to get.
No.
And they're not great games.
No.
But they're fun.
Yeah.
And I feel like Japan does that. Japan makes great, fun games
that are just not worth the money to localize.
Yeah, which is unfortunate, but
you're right though. Sony's the only one who brings us those games, because even PS2 has had some weird ones, like You Can't Stop Mr. Domino,
Mr. Mosquito.
Yeah, Mr. Mosquito. They bring us the
stuff.
weird Japanese stuff, but it just gets small markets.
Yeah,
but it'll be a $20 game, and it's if you see a $20 Well, I mean, I guess not anymore, because that was PS2 era. But if you saw a weird looking game, PS2 game, and it was $20, and you're I don't recognize any of this, pick that up. That was a crazy fun, stupid game.
Yeah.
You know?
The Gungrave series, that was really fun. Those are really budgety.
But yeah, I think they're starting to find more of an American market with Japanese titles.
Which is super apparent to me, because they're finally bringing Gundam Breaker, which was a series that Americans have been begging Japan, and Japan's just been nah, it's not a big enough market.
The whole country. They had a meeting. Yeah. They had a meeting with everybody in Japan, and they said no.
Yeah, and it's so weird, because we would get a Gundam game, but we would get the one terrible game.
Yeah.
Instead of the 3 actually good Gundam games.
The only good Gundam game, and it's, but the only good Gundam game that I think of is that Gundam Warriors game.
The Muso?
Yeah, the Muso Gundam, and
Dynasty Warriors Gundam.
Yeah, that was fun. But that's fun because it was a Muso game. They're always fun. There's just they didn't bring anything new to it.
Yeah, so Gundam Breakers has me so excited.
Because I imported, I didn't import, I borrowed it from a friend who imported the Gundam Breaker 3.
Yeah.
Because they were testing the waters, because the Chinese version of the game has 100% English text.
Yep. And this one, they're not even branding it as Gundam Breakers 4. This one is coming out internationally, and it's going to be called New Gundam Breaker.
Yeah. It's kind of what they're doing with, how they were just, Monster Hunter World now.
Yeah.
So that a new, when somebody doesn't roll up and they see it, Monster Hunter 10, they're that's too much.
Yeah, we're where's the other 3 Gundam Breakers?
Yeah.
It's they're Japanese exclusive and you can't get them, so I hope you enjoy the 4th one.
Yeah.
Which is pretty... I'm excited about that one.
What else? For anybody who doesn't know, I'm assuming you at least understand what a Gundam is, with giant mech and all that. The Gundam Breaker series is somewhat weird game. It is a Gunpla game because it's a game about making Gundam models, but the models come to life and fight each other.
Yeah.
But you get to build them yourself with any parts you want, and you can add things and stuff. It's awesome.
And the other, 1 through 3 you would like build your Gunpla.
Yeah.
And you'd go to like Gunpla is like just a
it's like
term for model kit.
It's like cosplay.
Yeah.
A Gunpla is like the name of like the Gundam model hobby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so like you would go to the hobby shop and buy like the box, and then you'd assemble it and you'd have all the parts. So you'd make your Gundam, and then you'd like take it to like an like in the storyline realm of the game, you would like take it to an arcade and it like digitized into a computer, and then the Gundams fought inside the computer.
Oh yeah, that's what it would be. It would be like in a Gundam simulation world.
It's like a Beyblade.
Yeah.
But with a Gundam.
Yeah.
This new one, and I don't know the extent of it, but the released trailer and the demo that they show is like 100% Toy Story Gundam.
That's
because
awesome.
The arena they're fighting in is like somebody's room. And they're like cutting open like the paint pots.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And
there was like levels, but they'd be like a small level that were like that. Like, cause I remember there was one, the one where you could get the parts for the the Samurai Gundam.
Yeah.
The one who has like the arquebus and all that. You know, like the level you could fight him in and get the parts from him was like a little garden outside of like in a Japanese home or whatever. But that was like one of the few ones. All of them are like, oh, you're fighting in this Gundam facility or this forest or whatever. Yeah. It's like, oh, that's all right. But can I fight in like a dude's living room and he's got like a Nintendo over there or something?
And that's what it looks like. So that's exciting, and I really hope that they continue. I hope that if there was a resurgence of Japanese games being brought over here, that would be super great.
Oh yeah.
Because for every but again, like American publishers' stuff is not good.
Yeah.
Japanese games, they are not good. But there are some just gems of games that we don't get to play. And
yeah, just like I'm sure it's disappointing over there when certain games don't get released. But I think it's a little bit easier for a Japanese audience to import an American game because there's a little more baseline understanding.
That's true, yeah.
Whereas like you could import a Japanese game and get around and understand. Like me, I would just be like, trial and error, I guess,
Yeah, X means no and circle means go.
Yes. That's
For some reason, we flipped that around.
Mm-hmm.
But that's about all you need to know.
Pretty much, yeah.
Unless you imported an RPG, then you're really in trouble.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
But even if you're not, even if it wasn't like an RPG, if they're like telling you something in any way, it's like, you have to do this. It's like, whatever
you do, don't walk into the wall. And you're like, I want to go walk into that wall.
Yeah, this just really calls to me.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's like, it's a little bit easier, but I'm sure there's still a lot of stuff they don't get that they wish they did. Just like there's a lot of really cool Japanese games that I wish we got. Yeah. Like Cho Aniki.
Yeah.
That,
Yeah.
Or, what was it? KO Flying Squadron. Actually, we did get that one.
Yeah.
That was like a Sega CD game, I think. Mm-hmm. That one we did get.
Or we get stuff like Kabuki Quantum Fighter, and you're like, there's no way a game called Kabuki Quantum Fighter came out in America, and it did, and it's rad.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like super cool.
Yeah.
Like, you're like a guy who goes into a computer
and just whips people with your Kabuki hair.
Yeah, you fight with your Kabuki hair, and you throw like CPU chips.
It's so good. That's so awesome. Yeah. Like I need to play that game.
It's a really good game.
But yeah. So I mean, that's if Sega did make a new console, they would probably bring the Japan, because Sega had some, like, most of Nintendo's titles were very like middle ground. Mm-hmm. They were like 50% Japan, 50% America.
Yeah.
Sega, it was like a 70-30 split.
Yeah.
But like it would fluctuate. Like, I guess it was probably still a 50-50 split. Yeah. But not on each individual game.
No.
Like, Sega would release one game that it's like, this is super Japan, but then one game would be like, oh, this is really American. Mm-hmm. So that was really rad about Sega.
Yeah, for every Crazy Taxi, you got a Space Channel 5.
I have that game. I picked it up on Dreamcast.
Yeah.
I haven't played it yet, but I have it.
Well, you're in for an amazing treat.
Michael Jackson's in the one I think I got Spice. I got Space. What?
Did you get 2?
Maybe. It was either 2 or 5. I don't remember. Was there a 5?
No.
Oh, it's Space Channel 5. I don't remember if it was 1 or 2.
2, he's like definitely. I think 1, he shows up at the end.
Okay, gotcha. But yeah.
If you guys have no idea what we're talking about, Space Channel 5 is a rhythm game.
Mm-hmm.
And it is the most Japanese thing you'll ever see, and it's incredible.
Yeah, you play as a space reporter.
Yep.
And she's like an anime girl, and she's in space.
Yeah.
And you gotta press the button. Like, you just gotta play it. All right.
Yeah.
It's
worth a play. But yeah, kind of funny because I'm like, man, we went off on a tangent about Japanese games and how much we wish that we had them, and
yeah,
I'm sure our listeners are like, yeah, dude, okay, we get it. Stop. What about that Atari thing?
Yeah. So.
We don't know.
We don't know. Nobody knows.
Nobody knows.
Not even Atari, I don't think.
There is a new Atari system, like console.
It will play games.
It will play games. It looks like a PlayStation, but with wood trim.
Yeah.
So it's the coolest looking video game console.
It is pretty awesome. Yeah.
Its controller looks like an Xbox controller. Like it literally looks like they just like spray painted an Xbox controller.
Yeah. As much as I like the PlayStation 4, I have to admit the Xbox One controller at this point is the best controller. So
it's
really just rips it off, because like the Switch Pro controller.
Yeah.
Picked one up. It is literally an Xbox One controller.
Yeah.
And it's pretty awesome.
So you've got this really cool, sleek black box with wood trim.
Yeah.
A really ergonomic looking controller.
Uh-huh.
But it also is going to ship with an Atari 2600 controller.
Yes, because it's got like all the 2600
maybe?
on it,
I don't know. That's the thing, is every interview, Atari's been like, yeah, it'll play games. And yeah, it'll probably have original Atari games on it. And yeah, it's a PC. And yeah, it's also a console, and it'll be able to stream stuff.
Yeah.
And as confusing as that sounds, that's how confusing it is, because we still don't know what it is. Other than...
He said it wanted to have all the functions that a computer, smartphone, or laptop would have.
Yeah.
Which is confusing to me, because that's what consoles do right now anyway.
Yeah.
So why word it like that? Just say that it can do everything that a modern console can do, unless it can't do.
Yeah,
but it said that it can play. I don't know.
It's very weird.
Yeah.
And the thing is like they keep Atari, like in these interviews, keeps like likening it to a PC.
Yeah.
They keep saying like, oh yeah, here's the PC specs. Here's the... Like, it'll function like a PC. You can surf the web. You can do this. Which, I mean, all consoles do. So it's like, is it going to have new games? Or is it going to be like an Xbox and a PlayStation, and it's going to have all the same games that they do? And then maybe have first-party Atari? It's very weird.
But, like, Atari doesn't have enough, like... I mean, don't get me wrong. I know they're a developer. They've been around for a while. Like, I get that, but I can't think of, off the top of my head, any killer apps that are exclusive to Atari. Like, I don't know what they would bring to the table.
Yeah, I don't know.
Like when Sega, when it was like rumored, when it was whispered in the deep dark corners that they might be making a new console. It's like immediately I'm like, well, that's fine. They're a huge. They've got a huge repertoire of titles. If they went first party again, they could bring it hard.
Yeah.
What would Atari bring? I mean, I'm not saying they can't. I just don't know what it would be.
They've got E.T.
Oh, well, you know what? Actually, no, it's a licensed game. They have to renew the license.
Ooh, you know what would be really cool? And they wouldn't almost even have to reference. Like, they could just make a high fantasy game. They could actually release Sword Quest Waterworld. Like, as like a high, like, I don't know, like a God of War, like a high fantasy Witcher type thing. And just be like, well, we finally released it. Yeah. The 4th in the series. But they don't even have to reference it. They can just be like, this is called Sword Quest.
Yeah. That would be kind of fun.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like, I don't know.
Yeah, it's they've got adventure.
Yeah. I mean, but it's like...
You've got Pitfall.
Do they, though? Or was it just on Atari consoles?
No, I think Atari, like, Pitfall was Atari.
Was that Atari? Okay.
Yeah.
But it's like... Okay, like, they got Adventure. That's great. But, like, what would that be other than, like, a generic adventure game? But, like, the name Adventure isn't going to bring anybody in?
Yeah.
Like, there's not, like, it's not like a storied, like, franchise. It's just, it's Adventure. That's good.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not saying they won't bring it. I'm not even saying that the games they release will be bad. Because Atari releases good games.
Mm-hmm.
But, like... what's bringing me? What are you bringing? Like,
and that's the thing is I feel like right now this release is solely based on nostalgia.
Yeah, because that's the only.
Like people know Atari.
Name.
Like when they say Atari, it's like, oh yeah, that's this like.
That's that video game
this
thing.
legendary mystical creature.
It's
that
like
came
actually.
Out. Like it's something that our parents knew.
That's so accurate.
And it's something that we should know.
Oh my God, you're right.
But it hasn't been relevant since the 80s.
It's like.
I mean, it has been relevant.
I mean, but like.
It's been a publisher, but like, it's not like 1982 where everyone in the world needed an Atari.
It's just like. This is not gonna make sense to anybody who hasn't seen it, but it's like I imagine like. So there was a show called Captain and the Game Master, and he went into the video game world, and it was cool, and he hung out with all the video game characters. I feel like Atari would be like that legendary. It'd be like Atlantis.
Yeah.
It'd be like the Sunken Empire, and he'd go there, and there'd be like Pitfall and stuff. It's like.
Well, and it's
because that's like the best description of it. It's like this like almost legendary name, but like but nobody actually.
Yeah, we've got because you've got our generation.
Yeah.
And we knew what Atari was, and our parents knew what Atari was.
Our parents played Atari. We might have played it if they had it.
Right, and nerds like us have played a 2600.
Yeah.
Like we've played in television.
Yeah.
The average person our age probably has no idea what an Atari looked like or felt like and now Atari's releasing a console when our generation has brought in another generation. So you have kids now that are in high school or elementary school that don't know what a VHS player is. If they don't know what a VHS player is, they're going to have no idea what an Atari is other than their YouTube videos that reference it. And it's like this mystical thing. It's like a laser disc or an 8-track.
Yeah.
To us.
I mean, to be fair, nobody can actually prove that 8-tracks or Laserdiscs existed.
I mean,
if
you go to like a record store, like a Half Price Books, they've got Laserdiscs. I watched Terminator 2 on Laserdisc. It took like 4.
Yeah.
You had to keep flip-flopping it like every 30 minutes.
Yeah, but it's so...
The video quality was incredible.
Oh, yeah. But it's like, that's not... Yeah, exactly. I mean, I've heard. That was its selling point.
And apparently, the Star Wars trilogy on Laserdisc, like 4, 5, and 6, that's like
the definitive.
Best. The definitive version of it is a Laserdisc.
Yep.
So you have to find a Laserdisc player, and then you have to pay out the butt for the discs.
Yeah.
All like 30 of them.
Jeez, it's so ridiculous. But yeah, I mean, it's like they're selling this on nostalgia, but it's like... I don't I have like secondhand nostalgia for Atari, but not enough to like get me into a console.
Yeah. Well, what's really funny is like my grandfather ran a TV repair company. Like he was a very self-made man, and when Atari came around, he had the foresight to go, I want to buy one of those, crack it open, figure out how it works, and I'll be the repair shop for it. So
that dude, is very smart.
So in Georgia, it was like one of the few stores that could repair Ataris, so my mom has like a bunch of bags and like a shirt or something from Atari, and so like I always thought that was really cool. But I didn't play Atari.
Yeah.
My first console, I will say my first console is an N64, but before that, I guess someone had dropped off an Intellivision.
Yeah.
They fixed it.
And I never picked it up.
And someone never picked it up. So my mom pulls this thing out, and she's like, I think it's an Atari. pulls it out, goes, nope, this isn't Intellivision. I have no idea what this thing is. So we plug it in the TV, and I played it. I thought it was really cool, but for the longest time I thought I was insane because I'm like, what is this? Like, did other people have these? Like,
yeah,
what is this?
Because there's like a wild west of consoles before like they really got set in stone.
Yeah. So I recently saw, I think the same people that do the Atari Flashback just did an Intellivision, and like I actually want to buy it because it's like, oh man,
because there's actual nostalgia.
There's actual nostalgia for that. But even I, who probably should have and could have been playing Atari when I was younger, did not play it until much later.
Yeah, so it's like there's novel. I have like nostalgia or appreciation for the history.
Oh,
but like it doesn't invoke emotions, so like it's missing the mark. And if I don't, people younger than me aren't going to.
Yeah.
And like even a lot of people older than me don't really have that nostalgia because if they were really into gaming, they remember the Atari fall.
Yeah.
And it's not like the Sega fall where everybody remembers. Like, everybody who had any experience with the Dreamcast remembers loving it and it being great. It wasn't that they withered and died. They went out in a bang and everybody wanted more. Atari withered.
Oh,
like a slow, horrible death. So everybody who was around for it, they might have nostalgia, but they remember that. So it's like, you're hitting the wrong chords. You need to be coming at this not with nostalgia, but as like we are a next-gen console. We're going to bring it. Check your butt. Like Xbox, we're taking your spot.
Yeah. And I would, it would be really cool if Microsoft just got kicked right out of the console war and Atari became something and know what the heck?
Yeah, because I definitely,
like
there
40
has to
years
be,
later.
There has to be another person in there to keep PlayStation in check. Because if somebody's not keeping PlayStation in check, they're not going to keep bringing it.
Right.
So, like, I want to see Xbox get kicked because they're not bringing it, and they don't appear to want to, and they don't have. They're too big of a company.
Yeah.
Like Microsoft is too big of a company. The gaming portion of it isn't important enough to them, and I feel like to keep Sony honest, you need a company whose sole thing is video games.
Yeah.
Because it's big enough for Sony that it's important to them, but it's not their only thing.
Yeah, and like you can say like Nintendo definitely has its say so. Like Nintendo competes with Sony, but Nintendo is always going to be around. I feel like
they've basically, because they have their own market basically.
Yeah, like people are Nintendo people, and they will buy all Nintendo stuff, and
because their company is structured in such a way, like the like
it's like the family.
Yeah,
it's like a family friendly.
Well, not just that, but like I guess for lack of a better term, like the political culture of the company is very much like we do it right no matter how much it costs.
Yeah.
Which means they've had downs, but they're always followed by huge ups because they will spend like. Breath of the Wild spent over 5 years in development and stuff like that. Like, they'll spend as much time, and if it's just like, oh, well, we've spent so much money on it, like, we need to release it, the higher-ups will be like, no, finish it.
Yeah.
Whereas, like, most companies will be like, we've sunk too much profits, release it, And so I think that's why they'll always be able to bring it, but they have such their own marketplace, though. Like, it's not a direct competitor for Sony and Microsoft.
Yeah. And we've been talking about this thing now for like half an hour, and we haven't even mentioned, like, Atari has said, so it's the VCS.
Yes.
Like, that's like the most concrete thing that we've heard from them.
Yeah.
And that it has a controller. And wood grain, which is classy.
It is very classy, I'm not going to lie. It is the classiest console I've ever seen, but that doesn't scream, I can bring it. That means, like, I'm going to show up with, like, some nice bourbon. I'm going to have a good time. We're going to talk, have a good laugh, and I'm going to go home. But it's like, listen, I need to know that you can party, too.
Yeah.
Like, that's cool, and sometimes I want that.
Yeah.
But if you also can't bring, like, a bottle of rum and just throw it down, what are you doing in this console space?
Yeah. Who knows? So, I mean, I think that's all that we can say on that. I hope it works.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see. I'm just so, like, disappointed that, like... And who knows, maybe. I'm just really disappointed that, like, it appears Sega has no interest in coming back to the console space, because I really feel like this is the prime time.
Yeah.
They're not going to have a better opportunity than this. There's blood in the water, man. Like, go for it.
Yeah, who knows?
Yeah, but I mean,
maybe we'll see the return of, like, Commodore. It'll just come out of nowhere.
Dude, yeah, Commodore 64.
Yeah, it'd be like the Commodore 64 2.
Yeah, so it's Commodore 64 squared.
Yeah.
There you go. Man, they can re-release the Hercules.
Yeah.
The Hercules on Commodore 64.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, yeah, that would be, it's just like, it's still just a keyboard.
Yeah.
That you plug into your TV.
Yeah.
But it's like but it's like the most high-tech console out there.
Yeah, but it's still just this really, like,
big
giant, wonky keyboard thing.
Oh man, that would be the best.
Which one was the system that ran on, like, cassette tapes?
Oh man, was that the ZX Spectrum? No.
Maybe? I don't know. I know that there's a console that ran on cassette tapes, and if that doesn't blow your mind, nothing will.
Yeah, like, I can't, like, my brain literally shuts down for a second every time I say that, because I try and think, well, how does that...
Yeah.
Like, I don't get it.
So if you're sitting there going, okay, yeah, I totally understand that, well, nothing in the world will ever surprise you, and all your sense of, like, joy is gone.
Yeah, like, I don't think you... Like, it's a piece of tape that plays music. It is a piece of tape that plays music, and somebody figured out how to code a video game on that tape.
That's the thing that blows my mind, right? Is like, you look at a cassette tape and you go, okay, I get it. It's like a record player. Like,
fine.
Like, it's reading.
Yeah.
I get that. Like, I understand... Yeah. I mean, that's insane magic.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
For the creator.
It's deep magic. Yeah.
But it's fathomable. It's like, okay, it's like a movie. Mm-hmm. Like a film reel is just, you're seeing.
It's a movie.
You're seeing images. It's still images. Faking movement. I get that, and then the sound. That's okay. But yeah, playing a video game. That's going to take more than an hour or two. Like, do you have to keep rewinding it and, like, flipping it?
Yeah, what?
Like, it blows my mind that there's a video game on a cassette, but we'll have to look up which...
I need to look that up, because that blows my mind.
The Commodore was like a giant floppy disk, wasn't it?
Yeah, well, I don't think they were giant, but they were, like, floppy disks, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what that was, which is pretty rad. I can appreciate the history there. Again, no nostalgia because that was before my time, but I get it. Like, I get why that was so, like, revolutionary. But yeah, I mean,
we're like in a weird, like, because we're like the
we're definitely
late '80s, early '90s is like where we're coming from.
Yeah.
So we're like right
at the cusp of the Super Nintendo. Is when
we came into video games on the resurgence.
Yeah.
People who are 10 years older than us were there when it was the absolute end-all be-all, died, and then came back.
Well, no, because, like, even still, like, my brother who's about...
You probably have to be 20 years older.
Yeah, because my brother is about roughly 10 years older than me, and he grew up with the Nintendo, like the NES. Yeah. Like, they grew up in the resurgence when it was coming back.
Yeah.
And then it hit full swing when we came through.
Yeah.
But, like, yeah, you had to be, like, 20 years older than us to get the crash, Yeah.
Which...
Like, that's so crazy.
E.T. did contribute.
Yeah.
But it's not like Atari was doing super awesome. Then E.T. came out and Atari was not doing awesome.
Yeah, that was like a symptom, not the disease.
Yeah, it was it was dying. And that was one of their last ditch efforts, but because it's a licensed game, they spent so much money on it to try to save themselves, and they rushed it. So E.T. is not so bad that it killed a console.
Yeah.
It's like the situation around it. I'm not defending the game.
No.
But yeah, I feel like that's another one of those like ancient myths where there's this thing called Atari. And
it was an urban legend, I believe, for the long time that they buried them in the desert, and then it turned out to be real. Yeah, I know it turned out to be like that actually happened, but I vaguely remember before that happening, like that was an urban legend. Like back in the olden times, they buried this game and sealed it away, and then like somebody found it.
I remember being like, 5th grade, 6th grade?
Yeah.
Right when like video game magazines were literally everywhere.
Oh yeah, that was another weird thing that like we were at the end of as video game magazines.
Yeah, because like in the 2000s, like elementary school through middle school, there were like 8 or 9 to pick from. And now you've got one.
By the end of high school, by 2008, it was pretty much just like I guess Game Informer and there's a couple others, but but by then everybody was getting their news from the internet.
But I remember reading multiple times, like, in those articles, like, funny game stories or urban myths. Yeah. And it's like, I had known about that. I had known about it for, like, 20 years before you actually read it and went, what?
Yeah.
They actually found...
And the ones that were buried in the desert are worth more than regular E.T. games.
Yeah.
Because, like, you bought E.T. How much was that? Like...
I bought E.T. for, like, $5.
Yeah, it was, like, $5 in pretty good condition. But, like, the ones that came from the desert go for, like, $1,000 because, like, they're a piece of history now. Yeah. Like, though, okay.
So the myth was Atari was doing awesome. Nothing could stop it. E.T. comes out and kills it so hard that they bury the game in the desert.
To seal that evil.
To seal the evil away so that nobody would know about it.
Yeah. Like to hide what they did.
Yeah. When in reality what happened was they were dying. They last minute, like they at the end they thought last ditch effort, let's put a lot of money into this game. Game comes out, doesn't sell well. They have warehouses. What are you going to do with it? Just throw them away.
Yeah, but they couldn't just throw them away. They had to bury them. Mm-hmm. And so yeah, but like okay, so. Last point I think I have to go on.
Yes.
So, like, we're talking about, like, resurgence of, like, past gaming things and also, like, an influx in this most recent console generation of, like, really Japanese games and Japanese stuff, right?
Yeah.
In the gaming market. When is Japan going to bring back the arcade in America? Full force, because it's starting to come back. I mean, we've got our free plays and stuff, but that's mostly retro, which I like. I enjoy that. And there are some, like the Arlington Mall has a big arcade that straight up has like a ton of Japanese cabinets and stuff.
There's an arcade in Grapevine, Texas.
What's it called?
Round One.
Yes, that's the one. Because it's also attached to like a bowling alley or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah.
And karaoke.
Yes, and it's got karaoke too?
Yeah, and pool.
Okay, that one's more hardcore. We gotta go there.
And I think a batting cage.
Okay, yeah.
It's got a lot of stuff.
We gotta plan a day to go to
Round One.
Round One.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, but that's just like a small like deal. We need like full course. The one, does it have like the UFO catchers too?
Yep.
Yeah, because the one in Arlington did too, and I was like, man, I did not bring very much money today, so I'm not gonna like waste it all on one of these.
I would like to see Sega and Taito just like
demolish.
Just drop some arcades.
Because Sega still kills it in the arcade scene, and so does Taito.
Yeah.
Because I was seeing like it was just nothing but Taito and Sega.
They need to localize.
Yeah.
They would have to localize and translate the table flipping game.
Yeah. Wait, the what?
The table flip game. Oh my gosh. So it relies on Japanese humor. So hence they would have to localize it.
Yeah.
But it is an arcade cabinet with a screen and half a table. and you have to play a scenario, and it's like you're an office worker.
Yeah.
Right? And like the guy next to you is slurping noodles. The girl next to you is spraying on like doing like her perfume.
Yeah.
Like the intern keeps dropping all your stuff, right? So like you have to find the absolute perfect moment
to flip the table?
when everything's going to just flip the table, right? So like you have to wait until like everyone is in line. And then you flip the table and it just takes out everything and it like destroys everything.
That's like that punching game.
It's like the punching game,
but like way cooler because you're flipping a table.
Yeah, so you actually flip the table.
Yeah,
like the controller is just a giant table that you flip up in the air.
Oh my god,
which is super awesome. But it kind of reminds me of if you've ever played the Burnout games.
Yes.
And they have the wreck mode.
Yeah.
Where you have to cause the most amount of damage.
Yeah.
That's what it is, but it's flipping tables.
That's awesome.
There's one where you're like a bride who got left at a wedding, so you have to like find the best way to destroy everything at the venue. There's one where you're like a dad, and so you have to like destroy your whole living room and kitchen because your kids are screaming. It's oh my gosh. But it's all very Japanese. Like the humor is Japanese.
I think you can get away with that. They just need to actually localize as far as translating.
Yeah.
Because I don't think you need to do much because like people are starting to get Japanese humor. They don't fully appreciate it, but it's just so far out there that they're like, I don't get it, but it's funny, you know?
Yeah.
But they need to translate it because like they have at round one in Arlington, they have the Taito drums, and it's awesome. It would be more awesome if I could navigate the menus.
Yeah.
Like they have like the DJ rhythm game, which is awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Japan is really good at rhythm games. Now that I'm thinking about it, they kill it. Yeah.
They are the best.
But it's like if like Taito and Sega like did a joint to like bring arcades back in America.
Mm-hmm.
If they just started actually translating their arcades and started opening, I think they could bring it back.
I think so too.
It's just they gotta be ambitious enough. Sega, if that's it, then I'm all right. If that's why you're holding off on consoles because you can only do one risky thing at a time, that's fine. But you either need to release a new console or revive the arcade market. Is all I'm saying.
Yeah, I guess with that we will say, hey, if you're listening, comment and let us know. Like if there's a
if there's a topic you want to hear about, or whatever,
or a crazy Japanese game, or
if you have any crazy Japanese
console
games,
memory,
like let us know.
Yep.
Because and not just like really out there.
Yeah.
Not just like this is like, I mean,
like
a lot of those.
For every Earth Defense Force there is, which is an amazing fun game.
Yeah.
We want something like way.
Oh yeah. Like if you want a good baseline, I think go look up Choiniki.
Yeah, Choiniki is a pretty
that one is like
pretty
you watch that and it's like, I'm sorry, what?
There's another one called LSD.
Yeah, that one's crazy.
Just watch that. That is the weirdest thing you'll ever see.
Yeah. Like these really, really weird Japanese games. I think I want to just start finding them, just playing some weird Japanese games
or like Katamari Damacy.
Yeah, I think that one is borderline. That's become the baseline for normal-ish.
Yeah.
For Japanese games, they get way weirder than that.
They do get weirder.
So
Elite Beat Agents.
That one was rad. People have been wanting that to come back for a while.
Yeah.
That one got a pretty big following even here.
Yeah.
It's nuts. Captain Rainbow.
Yeah.
That one's weird.
But anyway.
Yeah, anyways, we're just listing games now.
Yeah. So,
but and as always, if you want to help us out and you want to see more, share. That's the easiest way to help.
Yes.
Liking and commenting is nice, but sharing is probably the easiest.
Sharing is the magic.
We're excited to bring more videos. Pretty soon Pretty soon we're gonna start bringing the 8-bit skits to YouTube because we've been doing those on our social media, but we'll start bringing those to YouTube pretty soon, so that you can start. So we start having those on the channel. Because I know not all of you follow us on social media, and that's all right. I totally get it. We'll start bringing those here so you can see them. We're planning on having some longer videos too. Mm-hmm. So
some stuff in the works.
Yeah. Anyways, see y'all next week.
See you.